ก็ค่อนข้างที่จะไว้วางใจได้ในระดับหนึ่งว่าค้างคาวในบ้านเรานะคะถึงแม้ว่าจะมีการพบเชื้อแต่ในสัดส่วนที่น้อยและยังไม่ได้มีหลักฐานการแพร่เชื้อมาสู่สุกรนะคะหรือว่ามาสู่คนแต่อย่างใดนะคะแต่เราก็ยังคงการเฝ้าระวังอยู่นะคะโดยต้องเรียนให้ทราบว่านิพาไวรัสเองหรือโรคการติดเชื้อไวรัสนิพาจะเป็นหนึ่งในโรคอันตรายนะโรคติดต่ออันตรายร้ายแรงที่เราเฝ้าระวังมานานแล้วค่ะ
En tous les cas, qu'est-ce qui provoque la pandémie? C'est le fait que ça sera un vaccin ARN qui va mettre en place et je m'appellerai tout. Voilà, si vous mettez dans une vidéo, parfait.
I'm Paul Hunter. I'm professor in medicine at the Norwich Medical School in the University of East Anglia, and I was a specialist in medical microbiology and virology. Today we'll be discussing Nipah virus and the recent reports from India. It's one of the many viruses that bats and fruit bats in particular carry. It has in the past spread into humans. I think the first outbreak was about 20 or 30 years ago, and since then we've typically seen 1 or 2 outbreaks a year. It causes a very severe illness, and the death rate varies from outbreak to outbreak, but is of the order of about 45 to 75% mortality rate. Against that, a proportion of cases, up to about half of cases, might be have no symptoms whatsoever, so the actual death rate per infection is probably lower than the death rate based on identified cases. Most outbreaks start and most transmission events are because of a contact either with an infected animal or with something that has been contaminated by fruit bats. The early symptoms are quite non-specific. They could be anything really, sort of sore throat, fever, general feeling unwell, sore eyes, the sort of thing that could be caused by any disease or many different viruses. The thing that probably kills most is called encephalitis, which is an infection and a swelling of the brain. And when you get a encephalitis, you start feeling very unwell. You have a high fever, you have very severe headaches, and you can have photophobia where the light hurts your eyes. And that is often associated with cases that ultimately die. It's about 1 to 2 weeks, maybe a little bit sooner in some, and sometimes a lot longer than that. I think the longest has been 45 days. And what this means is that it's actually very difficult to control at airports. If you've got a disease that's got 2 weeks incubation period, for the first 2 weeks after somebody's carrying the infection, there's no way you can pick it up. In terms of the initial infections, it's being careful about eating and drinking food that might be contaminated by fruit bats. For the traveller, if any of us go to these areas, the issue is, it's the sort of things that you're not supposed to do anyway, or you don't eat fruit without peeling it first. Don't drink unpasteurized or unheated drinks that have been heated to a temperature that would kill viruses. As far as we can tell, the main risk of person-to-person transmission comes from fairly close contact. Typically when you're caring for somebody who's quite ill. But it must be said, there's not a huge amount of evidence on which to base a lot of these judgments. There's no vaccine that is currently available, although I believe one is in development, and there's no specific treatment. So if you do get the infection, what we say is that management is supportive in that you actually try and keep people alive until they recover on their own, rather than giving something that will kill the virus. India has had several outbreaks in recent years. Most years there's one outbreak, and Bangladesh, which is right next to West Bengal, where these cases are occurring, have had many outbreaks over the years. So and they tend to die out of their own accord fairly quickly.
大家好，我是主播林家远。生活压力大，失眠、浅眠是现代人常见的烦恼。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌现在进一步推出晚安加强版，添加水染GABA、色氨酸、茶氨酸、香蜂草4大天然草本，选择太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌，做好日常保养，身体轻松无负担。每日克菲尔，时刻美好 ，Good Feel Good， 请上快点购为健康下单，输入推荐码有额外折扣。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌基础版、晚安加强版，新包装改版，内容不变，抽取更方便，要吃就吃最好的。